For decades, Lorne Greene was the face of calm authority and wisdom on television, the kind of presence that could command a room without raising his voice. But behind the camera, there was one person he could not stand, someone who pushed every button and broke every rule. What started as professional tension turned into a simmering hatred, and for years, the real reason remained a closely guarded secret, until now. Lorne Greene was born in Canada, a man who carried himself with quiet dignity and the kind of gravitas that made audiences believe in every word he spoke. His voice alone could command attention, calm a storm, or make a simple announcement feel like history in the making. He became a household name with the success of Bonanza, where he played Ben Cartwright, the strong, moral patriarch guiding his family through hardships, ranch conflicts, and the changing West. People adored him not just because of his acting, but because he embodied stability and wisdom in a world that often seemed chaotic. Greene worked tirelessly to build his reputation, respecting the craft of acting, the seriousness of scripts, and the delicate balance between performance and authenticity. The man who earned Greene's deepest disdain was someone entirely different. He was young, brash, and hungry for attention, with a talent that promised brilliance but a personality that seemed built to clash with Greene's sense of order. From the moment they met on set, friction was unavoidable. Greene's world was methodical, a well-rehearsed performance rooted in discipline. The other man's world was impulsive, unpredictable, and constantly testing boundaries. Their clashes started small, often over minor details, like improvising lines or dismissing the importance of continuity. But for Greene, these were not trivial matters, they were disrespectful gestures that undermined everything he had worked to build. As the Bonanza series grew in popularity, so did the pressure. The young actor's rising fame made matters worse. Producers encouraged bold, attention-grabbing behavior, thinking it would energize the show and attract viewers. Greene saw it as recklessness. Every unscripted joke, every line delivered without preparation, grated against his professional values. Co-stars and crew members noticed the tension immediately. What might have been a minor annoyance to others became, for Greene, a daily test of patience and endurance. It was not merely about ego, it was about the principles Greene had spent years cultivating. The public, of course, had no idea. To audiences, Bonanza was seamless. The Cartwright family navigated disputes, conflicts, and adventures with a perfect rhythm that seemed effortless. Fans marveled at Greene's ability to portray wisdom while reacting to moments of unpredictability, never realizing that some of those moments were fueled by real-life tension behind the camera. Greene's authority as Ben Cartwright was mirrored by his real-life insistence on discipline and professionalism, and when that was challenged repeatedly by someone who acted carelessly or selfishly, resentment built quickly. Their differences were not just about acting styles. Greene was patient, contemplative, and deliberate, often spending hours studying scripts, understanding character motivations, and ensuring that every scene aligned with his vision. The other actor, in contrast, thrived on spontaneity, believing that raw emotion and instinct were more important than careful planning. In theory, these traits could complement each other, but in practice, they clashed violently. Every improvisation felt like a personal slight, every deviation from the script a challenge to Greene's authority. Staff and crew often found themselves in the middle, witnessing arguments that escalated from polite disagreement to open hostility. As episodes progressed, the tension became palpable. Greene would retreat to his dressing room to compose himself, while the other actor would wander the set, joking loudly or testing boundaries with crew members. One incident became infamous among insiders. During a particularly dramatic scene, the young actor deliberately altered a line, forcing Greene to react off-script. Greene, known for his composure, could not hide his frustration. The moment was brief, but it left a lasting impression. Crew members recalled the way Greene's normally calm demeanor hardened into icy silence, a quiet storm that spoke volumes without words. Fans only saw the final product, never the build-up. What they loved as on-screen drama was, behind the scenes, a simmering feud. Greene's hatred was not rooted in personal animosity at first, but in a profound sense of betrayal. He had built his career on respect for craft, for collaboration, and for careful execution. Every reckless act by the other man undermined that foundation. Greene's quiet fury was methodical, calculated, and, in some ways, terrifying. Colleagues later admitted that when Greene hated someone, it was absolute, consuming, and impossible to ignore. But the tension was more than professional. Greene's life outside the studio mirrored his dedication. He was a devoted father, a disciplined husband, and a man of principle who expected the same level of commitment from those around him. The young actor's disregard for these unspoken rules seemed like an attack not just on Greene's authority but on the values he held dear. Every unscripted moment, every challenge to authority, became a personal affront. Their arguments spilled into hallways, production meetings, and even social gatherings, making it impossible for Greene to separate work from personal emotion. The turning point came during a high-profile episode that demanded precise coordination and emotional intensity. Greene, meticulous as ever, had rehearsed for days, understanding every nuance of his character. The other actor, however, decided to add a comedic twist in the middle of a crucial scene, ignoring stage directions and cue timing. Greene's reaction was immediate and fierce. Witnesses described a rare outburst. Greene, normally calm and measured, raised his voice in frustration, delivering a reprimand that echoed through the studio. It was a private eruption, but it symbolized everything that had been building for months, a culmination of small slights, ignored boundaries, and personal affronts. By now, the feud had become legendary among those who worked on the show. Directors, producers, and co-stars learned to navigate the tension carefully, often mediating disputes or redirecting energy to keep production on track. Greene's hatred was no longer subtle, it was palpable, a silent force that influenced every interaction. The young actor, for his part, remained oblivious to the depth of Greene's resentment, assuming it was normal creative friction or generational differences. He had no idea that his impulsive behavior had created a chasm that could never truly be bridged. Greene's disdain shaped not only the production but also the legacy of the show. Behind the scenes, his insistence on discipline and respect influenced younger actors and crew members, instilling a sense of professionalism that lasted long after filming ended. But the price was high. The personal feud consumed mental and emotional energy, leaving Greene exhausted and perpetually vigilant. His hatred was private but constant, a reminder that not all conflict is visible, and some grudges are rooted in principles as much as personality. By the end of the first chapter of their story, it was clear that this was more than a simple clash of personalities. It was a collision of values, philosophies, and expectations. Greene, the seasoned professional who valued respect and careful artistry, versus a brash, impulsive talent who pushed limits without thinking. Their story was not just about a single actor hating another, it was about how passion, principle, and perceived disrespect can create a deep, lasting enmity, even among those who share the same stage. After months on set, the tension between Lorne Greene and the young actor became impossible to ignore. Every rehearsal, every line reading carried a layer of unspoken hostility. Crew members whispered about how Greene would silently fume when the other man improvised, while the actor seemed to push boundaries deliberately, almost daring Greene to react. The clash was no longer subtle, it had grown into a quiet war, fought in looks, silences, and passive-aggressive remarks that left the set tense and every scene a test of patience and control.